What's up, everybody? I'm Gabby Garrett, and I'm going to be talking to you about how I left my full-time job to become a freelance writer. This is something that I've made a lot of videos on, but never this exact topic, but it was inspired by a past colleague who I will allow to remain nameless. Okay, so back in the day, I was a admin person in healthcare, and I started freelance writing. So what I did, I'm like thinking back in my brain, is I traded first. So I traded with all of my healer friends. You may have heard me say this before. And so what I would do is, because I took a job outside of my degree, I didn't actually, besides my 5 internships, so that's a lie. Okay, I had hella experience. I'm not going to be humble. So I decided to ask my friends who I was receiving services from, because I was making a certain number of dollars per year. So I actually didn't have enough disposable income to invest in all these services. So like I had a really great friend who owned an acupuncturist clinic. And I asked her, like, would you be willing to trade me 12 sessions if I redid your website? And she was like, yeah, that sounds really good to me. So what we would do is we would meet weekly outside of my full-time job hours, and we would go through her website. She would describe to me all the things that she was looking for in it, and then I would design it. So because I had some downtime at work, there were some times where I could like write a proposal or do whatever at work, but I did my best not to work on these projects at work. I would work on them in the morning. I would go to a coffee shop before work, or I would work on them on my lunch break or in the evening. So for the majority of the time that I was an admin person in healthcare, I was trading with other people. I also went to yoga school at this time and had a very active social life. So I was quite busy. So then I took a job as a wedding planner. I knew then I wanted to be a freelance yoga teacher and a writer. I knew it, but I wasn't quite ready. So the wedding planning job was actually great because there's so much freedom in that job. It wasn't a 9 to 5. It was a like 7 to 7, 1 to 11, like all these different hours, which was great practice for being an entrepreneur, as was the admin job because of the structure. So this, I was learning the other side, and I was a manager here. So I had more autonomy, more, et cetera. So I'm there. And I tell everyone who I've been basically trading with, like, I'm gonna need a break. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I had kind of surrendered the dream of being a freelance yoga teacher and a writer. I was still teaching Pilates and yoga. And if you see me drifting off into the sky, it's because I'm trying to remember, because this was like 10 years ago now. Okay, 8. So I did that. And so then my dream started chasing me. So I've been quoted before to say, like, if you don't chase your dream will chase you back, especially if it's meant for you. So I would go to like these dinner parties with my boyfriend, and people would be there, fiance now. People would be there and they would be like, you should teach yoga from my place. You should write for this, blah, blah, blah. So long story short, I ended up being a regular contributing author for the local paper and the local magazine. So this is where I was making $85 a story, which was really awesome for me, really exciting. And I learned a lot. We moved to Alabama. And while I was in Alabama, I was like, I can't figure out where I'm going to work. Now I know, like, there's in Baldwin County, people just don't have normal jobs here. I didn't get the job in Mobile, which is great because that was kind of far away, but I started doing contract work for them. So I got a contract with them, and then some of the people I knew from Pensacola reached out and started giving me contracts. So I'm gonna skip to the business part. So it snowballed. I had one really awesome client who taught me a lot about business. His name is Sharon. So Sharon, if you happen to be watching this, hello. And so I sent him an invoice. So I was sending everyone Excel invoices, like, because I didn't really know. And they would just pay me. Like, I was really laid back about money back then. Like, I mean, first of all, I was sending invoices for like $1,800 when my paychecks back in the day were $900. So to me, like, there was no rush. So I would send like these Excel invoices and people would mail me a check. I was just really like laid back about it. Then I met him and he was like, hey, why doesn't this invoice have a way for me to pay you? Like, there's no button. So then I got Bosnia back then, Bozai. Anyway, so it had like an automatic invoice software. So this client actually introduced me to 4 or 5 clients. I started to grow my book of business and do more there. And then I moved out of real estate and into like self-help land, which I was in self-help land for a very long time. And then I moved back to kind of doing like custom little projects. So all that to say, it's a journey. What would I do if I was in my full-time job wanting to be a freelance writer? I would write. Every morning I woke up at 6 a.m. and I wrote. Without a client, with a client, I wrote. I did not have much money saved up when we moved here. I thought I was getting a job. I had $7,000, which I pulled out of my 401k from that company because I had to anyway. And I just started working. So Anyway, a lot of people say if you're going to leave your job to become a freelancer, you should have a year's worth of savings saved up. Here's what you need to know. It is not a consistent business, but it is an abundant business. The way that you can create consistently is having retainer clients. The way you can have retainer clients is offering something that business needs on repeat at a manageable rate. That's really good. So like in my stage of the game right now, I'm kind of doing custom work for a lot of people, but I'm working on some like base retainer things, which is my favorite way to work. So my favorite way to work is to have a client who I love. Ideally, you love all of your clients, of course. And that client has a specific set of marketing, PR, or writing things that they need my help with. And I'm basically a member of their team. And that covers my what the men call the nut, the base expenses. From there, you can look at custom projects like, hey, will you help me with the kids book? Or hey, will you help me ghostwrite this book? You can look at it with a lens of like, can I do this project justice, knowing that this is already met? Typically in my business, in this many variations, I've had up to 10 retainer clients and up to 50 like agency clients, which I had a team to fulfill. What will happen to you is it'll seem impossible, and then it will seem amazing. And then you'll think with false confidence, you can keep going. What I would do if you get there is stop, because like the amount of money I spent paying people and the amount of stress I had as an agency wasn't worth it. I was still bringing home like $8,000 a month, which you could make off a retainer client and skip all the hubbub. Unless it's like in your soul, in your mission, in your God-given talents to run a business. And by that, I mean like agency, then go for it. But to me, I didn't see the value. And then no one was working with me directly, which they didn't love. So things you're going to need: clear, objective deliverables, a retainer client or multiple retainer clients to cover your base expenses. If you're leaving your job, ask your job if they could use you on a retainer basis. And then you're going to need a keen eye for what you want to do with other people for those custom projects. You're going to need to be online regularly, just being present. You're going to need an invoicing software. You're going to need to be able to track your expenses in Mint, or however you want to use them, possibly get an accountant. You're going to need an income goal. You need to get really clear on what your bills are and what you spend averagely and what you need to cut back on and what you need to expand. This is like literally what's happening. Oh, look at the internet. You might want to rewatch this a few times, but you're going to need to get clear on all of those things, because you're going to need to manage your business like a business owner, right? A business owner is very clear. You can read a lot of my entrepreneur articles that are very helpful with this, but what I would do first is come up with a business plan and work on obtaining these clients while you're at work. And like I said, be respectful, don't work during work unless you can get a couple things done. But really go ahead and have them going on the side of the business. And that will give you a lot of autonomy and freedom and precision in the way you're thinking about things, because you're not running your business from where's the money, who am I going to work with, who am I going to work with. I can almost guarantee you will get there, but you might not. Like I wasn't there at all. I never worried about money. I never worried where the client went until I got into there was a couple gap seasons, but not much, until I got into the self-help realm. And when I was in the self-help guru area, there was just a lot of confusion. I reinvested in my business and courses and coaches consistently, and like always felt like I needed to be like buying the next thing, doing this. So I was like kind of stuck on the hamster wheel. Other than that, writing is a beautiful skill set. And if you have it, even if you're not going to become a writer and you want to do something else, this video might be helpful for you. Okay, let me know what you think. I love you guys. Wish us happy engagement. And if you want more help with this, there's a couple ways I can help you. I do writing coaching, which if you wanted to start a business through writing, this would also be applicable to you. You can head over to Gabrielle-Garrett.com. I also have 2 courses on writing. I have a how to write your book course and how to writing coach. And if this super helps you, you can donate to my PayPal, paypal.me/GabbyWritingMagic. Okay, bye. Oh, I also have 3 books and I do marketing work. See, then my income streams. Okay, bye y'all.